I decided to run for governor after fighting with the government for a year, let me tell you how effective leadership is, because I don't fight like a normal person. First of all, I don't intimidate easy, okay? And if anybody wants to take me on, that's fine, but it'll cost you. Anybody ever had that attitude? Okay? And the thing about that is that's not arrogance. That's called a fighting spirit. Ben Edel knows what it's about. Has your life changed? Oh, yeah. The last 3 years. Raise your hand if your life changed in the last couple of years. Look at all the hands. So here's what I'm getting at. I'm now running for governor as an embattled school superintendent. And what I did is I started getting legislatively connected in 2010 because I had to pass a law to help the Yoncalla School District be funded. And I ended up passing it single-handedly with no help from anybody. I had this much help. I went to the Small Schools Association, they wouldn't help me. Went to the Superintendent Administrators Group, they wouldn't help me. And I was told by Guinea Burdick and Peter Courtney, anybody know those names? Val Hoyle, Ellen Rosenbaum? They were all in the Senate in those days. I was told that I just needed to close the school district down and consolidate with the neighboring district of Drain. The problem was, as I was a history major, and Yoncalla was settled by Applegates, and Charles Drain was a fur trader, and they hated each other. So he went 5 miles over and settled Drain on the fur trade route. And since they built a school in Drain and a school in Yoncalla, they were within 8 miles. And this government of ours is so stupid, they said if you're within 8 miles, you don't get this extra funding because you're not remote. Anybody ever been to the remote place in Yoncalla? Anybody? It's 30 miles from everything except Drain, right? And I kept thinking, man, I love this state, but these people are weird. So I wrote a bill that said, we're going to change that to 2 miles. Simple, right? And apparently, many people had tried. Nobody had ever gotten it done. But I had a weapon that no one else had. You know what that was? I had love in my heart, and failure was not an option. So I just was persistent. And I ended up getting in with the co-speaker of the House in 2010. Remember that, when we actually had like the same number of Republicans in a House chamber? Some of you, it's so long ago you don't even remember, do you? Okay? And boom, one meeting and it was done. And the reason is when Mr. Hanna, this co-speaker, started yelling at me and barking at me, why would I help you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I think you're going to need to give me $8 million, Representative, because if you don't, you're going to walk right into the hands of the Democrats. Now, nobody talks to a Speaker of the House that way. Did you guys know that? Nobody talks to a Speaker of the House that way. Now, if I had followed the rules, guess what would have happened? I'd have failed, the school would have been closed, and the community would have lost its identity. See how this works? So, instead I said, he goes, what? I said, look, here's what they're doing. They knew you were going to come out and give an extra $110 million to schools, and they knew you were going to try to take credit for that. So what they did is they came out and said, it's not enough. This was back in the crash, remember? I go, and you walked right into it. No offense, but what the hell were you thinking? And this guy was flabbergasted. And he's like, what? Where are you getting this? Guinea Burdick. Who? Peter Courtney. You talked to them? Yeah, Senator Posanski sponsored this bill. It's Senate Bill 453. I said, now, if you want to win, not only will you find $8.5 million, but you'll fund this small school bill. And then he says, well, you're not in my district. I said, dude, we're in your backyard. Are you going to... Now, think about this. When you win, sir, who else wins? What? How about your kids? Okay. How about your friends? Okay. How about people you do business with? Okay. Now, think about this. You guys, government is designed to help we the people win. That's what it's for. It's not here to serve itself. or to force an ideology or to tell you your kids don't belong to you. It's not here to tell you you have to close your church and your business because we said it's not essential. You know who else called things not essential? The Nazis, the Soviets, Mao Zedong. What's even worse about that is we let them. And I watched it happen, and I was like, oh my God. I did it too. They closed our school. Remember that in March? All schools were closed. So I took a deep breath and I said, no, we're going to go to online without being told. So we were the first school district in Oregon to go online. We delivered computers, materials, toilet paper. Boy, we had a lot of toilet paper in the school, big rolls of it, commercial, right? Believe me, we made a killing, but we gave it away for what? Free. And when parents emailed me and said, we don't have toilet paper, we don't have cards, I don't have crayons or anything for the kids, we just set up a big old thing in the hallway and we had boxes and packages. Do you guys know any other schools that did that? Then I called people and said, who wants to work? And then, you know what the government did? They called me and told me to cease and desist. They said, we will not fund you because you're running buses and vans. And I said, well, you have to. You told me we had to shut down and pay everybody. And then they went back and checked with the lawyers, and guess what? Mark won. And remember when they made the announcement, right? This is important. A month later, the government made the announcement, all schools will use buses to deliver materials and run hotspots and computers. Remember that? That was me. It's called winning. Ready? Winning. I'm going to keep saying it. Do you want to win? Well, if I win, you win. And not only do you have my word, look at my track record.